are having a phenomenal day. If not, do understand and get that your day is going to get better once your perception gets better. Let's say it again. Your day is going to get better once your perception gets better. If you are new to my channel, my name is Dina Bryant. I do inspirational videos and I do some shopping videos, shopping hauls. Okay. So today we are doing a gratitude journal. Okay. We've been doing it for, I want to say, today should be about the 17th day, 16th, 17th day. Okay. Although I wasn't on yesterday, okay, doing a gratitude journal. Even if I'm not on doing a gratitude journal, you still want to do the gratitude journal. Okay. And you guys know you become what you focus on. Okay. And so if you are focusing on how everything in your life is working out, or if you focusing on, you woke up this morning, you have the ability to change your life, you have food, okay, you have a bed, you have, somewhere to sleep. It may not be your ideal thing, right? It may not be the thing that you want, right? But perhaps it's the thing that you need right now, okay? Because everything that comes into our lives is a reflection of our thoughts, okay? So if you was thinking, the same thing for so long, okay, about what you don't have and why you don't have it and why things not working out in your life, you're going to receive more of those things. And so I love making a gratitude journal with you guys, or even if I'm not online, I still make a gratitude journal because, we become what we focus on. And if I am focusing on gratitude, not only is gratitude going to change my attitude, it'll give you a mental adjustment, but also, you could be receptive to receive the things that you truly, truly, truly desire. Okay. So this morning, I'm just going to touch on psycho-cybernetics. If you guys do not have this book, okay, because I've been talking about this book for a minute, okay, by Maxwell Maltz, okay, and Maxwell Maltz, he was a surgeon who discovered that we have two self-images, okay? We have the self-image within ourselves, okay? What's going on in the inside, and then we have a self-image that's going on the outside, okay, that we project out to the world or whatever, right? And so Maxwell Maltz, one of the interesting things that he noticed was, it would be people that would, visit his office and stuff like that. They would need surgery, they would have a scar or something on their face or, some part of their body. And they felt like once that skull was removed, that they would have a better self-image of themselves, that they will feel better about who they were, And it's funny because when you dress a certain way, you do feel good, okay? And I'm gonna go deeper into that later on. But one of the things, so Maxwell Maltz, he noticed, some people we do surgery on, once he get rid of the scar or, remove the scar, whatever it was, that they would have a improved self-image, okay? Then he also noticed people who got the scar removed, they still would have this self-image of themselves that they wasn't beautiful, that they wasn't good enough, that they wasn't worthy, okay? They still would have this tainted self-image. And if you don't know, your self-image is the way you view yourself, right? And it has something to do with everything. It has something to do with the relationships you tend to get into. It has something to do with the amount of money that you earn. It has something to do with all aspects of your life. And your results is a contribute to your self-image, okay? And so I said I was going to get back to, dressing well, when you feel dressed up, right? I used to hear people say, when you dressed up, it makes you feel better or whatever it is like that. Well, I remember before I had my spiritual awakening, okay, I felt, I would feel good, but everything was a contribute to what I had. I didn't know myself. And I didn't want to spend time getting to know myself. I was more so concerned with changing things outside of my existence and thinking that my life was going to change because we've been programmed that way. We've been programmed to try to change things outside of us, and then our lives will change. But I am here to tell you, your life is not going to change until you change, until you make the mental adjustments that you need to make in order for your life to change, for the relationships to change, for your income to change. You need to change you. And the phenomenal thing about it, because I know some people, they prefer to blame others for why they are where they are. But the phenomenal thing about this is once you start changing you, you do not have to. I know. don't get me started. But be mindful of what you say. Because if you say it's hard, okay, it's gonna continuously be hard. Um, but just be mindful of of the language that we say. Express. I'm always a person that say express whatever it is that you feel, but don't keep on dwelling on it. Okay, don't keep on giving that thing energy. But I don't want to say it's hard. I want to say it may be challenging at times. Everything is about language and about the words that we tend to use. Same as that concept, right? But hard is more like, is more like direct, right? But one of the things that you have to understand is that it's doable and you can change. You can change and you will change because you see that you are worthy of change. And you see that you are worthy of change, okay? All right. So I'm going to tell you guys about this book, okay? Is a chapter in here, okay, that talks about, and it says this, it states this: practice exercise. Get a mental picture of yourself. The unhappy failure type personality cannot develop a new self-image by pure willpower or by deciding to. There must be some ground, some justification, some reason for deciding that the old picture of the self is in error and that a new picture is appropriate. You cannot merely imagine a new self-image unless you feel that it is based on truth. Experience has shown that, let me see 1 second. Okay. Experience has shown that when a person does change his self-image, he has the feeling that for one reason or another, he sees or realizes the truth about himself. The truth in this chapter can set you free of an old inadequate self-image. If you read it often, think intently about the implications and hammer home its truths to yourself. Science has now confirmed what philosophers, mystics, and other intuitive people have long declared. Every human being has been literally engineered for success by his creator. Every human being has access to a power greater than himself. This means you. As Emerson said, there are no great and no small. If you were engineered for success and happiness, then the old picture of yourself as unworthy of happiness, a person who was meant to feel, must be in error. Okay? And so when you start reading, and you guys know I'm always recommending books, okay, because that's something I continuously do. I continuously read. And you have to understand and get this. If you don't know yourself, you are fall for anything. Okay. Whatever someone say, if you don't know who you are, you're going to accept it as being truth for you. In many cases, it's not true It is people projections. They are projecting out, how they feel about themselves. Okay, that's one. And then two is not facts. And I don't care who may have told you whatever they may have told you. It could have been your family members. It could have been the school system. It could have been anything. Society. I don't care who have told you whatever they have told you. And in a sense where as though it's making you feel like you are inadequate. It's making you feel like you're not worthy. It's making you feel like you don't deserve success. It's making you feel like you're not good enough. I am here to tell you, you are good enough. You are worthy. And if you don't get to know yourself, every time somebody says something about you, see, nobody can make us feel ugly. We have to feel that way. Now, granted, okay, let me say this. Now, when you was a child, okay, you could have been called ugly, okay? So much so that in your subconscious mind, okay, the part of you that's operating 90-something% of the day on autopilot. You do some of the things, you don't even know why you get some of the results you get. And you blaming others for your results when in all actuality it's because of you. It's because of your self-image. And so somebody could have told you when you was a child that you was ugly, you wasn't worthy, that you was going to be just like your no good daddy or just like your no good mama or whatever it was. They could have told you that. Okay? But now that you are an adult, you have the ability to reject that what's going on in your subconscious mind. You have the ability to say, I am not that. You have the ability to show up for yourself. And when I say show up for yourself, what I'm saying is to do something different other than what your habits and what your paradigm has been conditioned you to be. And if you don't change your habits, if you don't change your routine, guess what? Your life will stay the same. And why allow your life to stay the same when you deserve so much more? You deserve so much more than what is in your life right now. But you got to get to know yourself. And if you're not willing to get to know yourself, you'll settle. You'll settle for that job. You will settle for that relationship. You will settle for what you drive. You will settle for the apartment you live in. You will settle for any and everything. The reason being is because you feel like this is the best that you can have. You feel like this is the best that the world have to offer you. When in all actuality, abundance is your birthright. And source is waiting for you to come into the realization of you knowing who you are. You knowing that you are an amazing, dope creator that is worthy of love, that is worthy of success. And it's not, oh, well, I'm worthy because no, you're worthy. You're just worthy. It's not no explanation, no whole, explanation, no whole sentence. You worthy because you're worthy. That's it. That's it. But you really have to get to know who you are. Because if you don't, you're just gonna settle for anything and everything. It's another great book. I know some of you guys have heard it. Okay. The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel. And one of the things in that book by Don Miguel, The 4 Agreements, one of the things he says in that book, he says, you know, he's like the pendulum, right? Whichever way it swings, you know, because some people, one day people will love you, the next day they hate you. Okay. So you got to know who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, whenever somebody say they love you, you'll feel happy and excited. But when they tell you they hate you, you will feel depressed and sad. But if you gave yourself that affirmation, if you big yourself up first, everything is just merely an add-on. It's just merely an add-on. So you have to get to know yourself. You know, your income isn't going to change because you work at a different job. And you know, and say for instance, if it do, right? Because I know some, well, mine's did. Say if it do, it may change a little bit, but it's not going to change to the point where as though the amount that you really should be earning. You know, it's so funny how you tend to settle for low hanging fruit. You know, like maybe you was making, say for instance, 800 a week. Okay. When really you supposed to be making 80,000 a week. And we get so caught up on low hanging fruit and so excited about the bare minimum when we supposed to be having more, doing more, and being more. So never think that you cannot have, be, do more, because you can. And you are worthy of it. You are worthy of it. I don't care what your education, you know, what was the level of school, you know, that you went to. I don't care about that. You know, it's funny because I went to college. I have an associate's degree in criminal justice. And the thing that I went to school for, I'm not even doing. It's not about you gathering up information. It's about awareness. Are you aware? Are you aware why you do the things that you do? Are you aware? Are you aware why you attract the relationships that you attract? Are you aware? Because gathered up information and remembering what the books and stuff say is not going to do too much for you. You have to be aware of why you do some of those things that you tend to do. And with awareness, you can change your whole entire life. But you have to become aware. So when somebody say, you know, they are experiencing depression or they going through depression or whatever it may be, right? Or when you say, you know what, I could have talked to this person better than the way I handled it. You know, I could have been a little better. That's great. It is great. You know why? Because now you really have a choice. Before you just was moving in routine. You was just moving in autopilot mode, like a zombie, like a robot. Somebody programmed you, and each and every day you show up like that person. But I'm gonna need you to show up better than that, because you deserve better. You deserve more. And I believe in you. I believe in you because I definitely believe in me. But you have to want it. You have to want it, and you have to believe in yourself. And the phenomenal thing is, it doesn't have to be something ginormous. Like this morning, right? I worked out, okay? Now, what helps me, I tell you guys, each and every day, I write my goals down each and every day. Okay. I highly advise you guys, okay, to get a notebook. Get yourself a notebook. Okay. Get yourself a notebook. You want to start journaling. You want to start writing down what it is that you want for your life. Not what your mama wants you to do or be or whatever it is. Not what society expect of you. No, not what people outside of you want you to do. What do you want? What do you want to do? And you write it down. And don't give any thought to now the idea will come to you. Well, hey, you're going to do this. You know, especially all your life, you've been told you only could do X, Y, and Z, and you can't do this and you can't do that. What makes you think you're good enough? The chatter is going to come up. But even when the chatter come up, you still do it because you got something so powerful within inside yourself. Something so dynamite. Okay, like JJ would say, dynamite. You got something so powerful within you that no one could ever predict and tell you what you are capable of because you have unlimited potential. And I'm going to need you to show up for you. I'm going to need you to do the thing that scares you. I'm going to need you to get out your comfort zone. I'm going to need you to know that your higher self, okay, source is always with you. And when you take the leap out on faith and you believe in yourself so much and you are willing to face the fear, guess what? The fear, it will dissipate. But it's not going anywhere. If you constantly say, I cannot do this because I'm afraid. You have to face it. That's the only way your life is going to get better. You have to face it. Whatever that thing is, the conversation you know you need to have, okay? If you feel like you need to quit that job, you need to face it. What's holding you back from the life you desire and the life you truly deserve is fear. It's fear. The door is unlocked. You just have to go through it. You just have to go through it. And I can almost assure you and guarantee you, when you follow your heart, in the words of the alchemist, I don't know if the alchemist said it or Ralph Smart, when you follow your heart, the universe, it will conspire to work in your favor. It will guide you when you follow your heart. See, I know what some of you guys think. You think like, oh, well, if I was to do this, you know, somebody may, you know, they may see that I'm a little afraid and they may tell me off, or they may, you know, they may have a whole attitude. Let me tell you something. When people have an attitude, that has nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing to do with you. See, before you showed up, something already triggered them. They allowed something to get the best of them. And you were just so happen to be the person that they just wanted to take their anger out on. I'm not saying it's right. But what I'm saying is when you start getting to know yourself, certain things won't affect you. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. But what I am saying is that I know I'm worthy. I know I'm deserving. I know I can show up better. That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying the same thing exactly to you. Because you deserve it. So, now, I know some people, okay, because my videos, they've been consistent. They've been the same, okay? Get a book. Get you a book, a read material, okay? 1 second. Now, I want you guys to go on Thrift Books, okay, and pick one of these books. I don't care which one you pick. It doesn't matter. What matters is you want better. And so guess what? Hey, peace to you, baby. Peace to you, peace to you, peace to you. The Joker in the Gene. Okay. Take this. Yeah, you know what? You will mess up. I'm not gonna say you're not gonna mess up. You will. But guess what? You messing up is gonna be way worth it than you staying the same. Because let me tell you something, when you mess up, you learn something from it. So either way is a win-win situation. But imagine if you were 80 or 90 years old and you always wanted to change your life, but you never did. The reason being was because you were so afraid that you may mess up. Not understanding that failing is a part of success. You have to fail in order for you to become successful. It's a learning experience. You're supposed to learn along the way. But don't hold yourself back and don't play so small because you feel like, oh, well, if I, what if I do this and I fail? Okay, on to the next thing. You know how many businesses, I was a part of network marketing twice, okay? I had opened up a activewear line, okay? And I don't necessarily say, I wouldn't necessarily say I failed, but I wasn't passionate about those things. And I put money into them and everything, okay? But it was a learning experience. You have to be willing to learn because we came here to learn, okay? And if you don't want to learn, you don't want to grow, your life is going to be very stagnant. You're going to be very stagnant. It's going to be boring, dull. And a comfort zone is a deadly zone. It's a deadly zone. And you have to ask yourself, is the comfort zone more important than what you desire for your life? See, you could have that house, those clothes, going to different restaurants, every week, a few times out the week. You can have that amount of money. You can have all those things, but you have to be willing to show up for you. If you see someone else able to do those things, you're no different. The only difference is that they have made a choice to face their fears. So don't look at people and think, oh, they must be never afraid. They never was afraid to do. No, they were. But guess what? They said, I deserve better. I deserve more. I want more from life. I will not continuously be a prisoner of thoughts that someone else, and get this, someone else gave you those thoughts. They're not even yours. They're not even yours. When you get the thought, you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not beautiful enough. You're not slim enough. You're not thick enough. Those thoughts not even yours. That is society thoughts. Okay. That is your parents' thoughts. That is the school system thoughts. Those thoughts not even yours. But each and every day you show up like they're yours. Every day. You do the same exact thing what you did yesterday. And there's no way that you could possibly expect for your life to change, because if you look all throughout your life, if you just go back and start looking, your life has been the same. It may have got a little better, just a tad bit, but your relationship's been the same. You've been going from this relationship to that relationship to that relationship and never took a time to pause and say, why am I attracting these people? Never. That's how I used to be. Didn't want to be by myself. Okay? Until I started realizing that even when I was in a relationship, it felt like I was by myself. So guess what I started doing? I started doing the work on myself. I started understanding that I am attracting these people because of who I am, because of my self-image. Because I felt, well, I have children, who's going to want me? But that's all what society says. Who's going to want you? You got children. Who's going to want you? How you going to get a good job? You ain't even finished school. It's people that their own businesses that didn't finish school. It's people like the prime example that I think of is KRS-One, okay? Who was a rapper. Well, he's a rapper, okay? Hip hop. And I remember I heard this interview KRS-One gave, and he was saying he could not pass the quiz, the test in the 8th grade. That test you take when you go into high school? He said he just couldn't pass it. He took it a few times. He could not pass it. And so what happened was he dropped out of school. And I'm not encouraging, anybody to drop out of school and stuff like that. I'm just sharing somebody else's example, because if you feel like you're inadequate and you feel like you're not good enough or you're not worthy enough because you don't have the school education and stuff like that, which education actually means educo, is Latin, is derived from Latin. It means to draw without, whatever you have inside, to bring it forth. That's what it actually means, okay? And I remember he said that he didn't pass the test. But what he started doing was he started educating himself. He started going to the Bronx Library each and every day, reading. See, the book isn't your kryptonite. You have to just pick the book up and be willing to do something different. And now KRS-One, he goes to Princeton. It's so funny when you start thinking about these things. It's so funny. He goes to Princeton and give lectures. Yale. He goes to these prestigious colleges, these Ivy League colleges, and give lectures. It's a game, okay? It's a game, and you better know how to play it, because it's a game. It is a game. Now, the books I recommend: Prosperity Bible. I've been talking about this book for months now, okay? Now, if you get the book, you get it, okay? But it has many of these guys, they didn't even finish school, okay? All right? But you know what? They had persistence. They was willing to stick to something. They had faith. They believed in themselves. They had courage. They had understanding of the laws of this here universe. And they showed up. So this is many books in one book, okay? It has in here The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. It has Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It has Florence Shinn in here, The Game of Life and How to Play It. It has in here Charles Haanel, The Master Key. It has As a Man Thinketh, James Allen. It has so many phenomenal authors in here. But guess what? I recommend a book And some of you guys won't get it. But that's okay, because you're the same one who's saying, I wish something drastic would happen in my life in order for my life to change. Probably, perhaps this is the time. There's not a coincidence, no coincidence that you on this live. There's no coincidence. See, you can keep on pinpointing and saying, oh, it's because of this one, that one, that one. Well, my life is the way it is. But it's not until you take accountability and ownership and say, no, my life is the way it is because how I am, because how I've been showing up. Yes, they may have, programmed you in a certain type of way, but guess what? You have the ability to reprogram yourself. You have to be willing to unlearn to relearn. That's the name of the game. Unlearn to relearn. And if you're not willing to unlearn to relearn, honey, you're toast. You're toast. Okay? And nobody is telling you to read the whole book. I haven't read the whole book. There's one book that I read damn near every day in this book. And it's The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. Because the science of getting rich, okay? It talks about money, but it talks more so about you. Talks so much about us. It talks about thought and how our thoughts create our reality. It talks about gratitude, how gratitude will change your attitude. It talks about persistence, talks about willpower. And so you have to be willing to learn something different, because let me tell you something, your way ain't working. It's not working. And we've been programmed to go against these certain laws of the universe. And some people may say, I don't believe in the laws of the universe. That's okay. You don't have to believe in them. I'm not on here trying to convince anyone. Don't believe in them. Okay? But whether you believe in them or not, if you go against them, you're going to keep on getting the results that you continuously get, that you continuously keep complaining about. So I think it'll do a service if you start understanding and learning the laws of this here universe. And they're not man-made, so man can't change them and they can't alter them. You got to be willing, okay? Another book, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel, okay? No one can hurt your feelings without your permission. No one can make you feel a certain way without your permission. Before someone said those things, especially you an adult, right? Somebody calling you ugly and you taking it personal, that ain't got nothing to do with you. They got something to do with them. You can't tell they projecting. That's how they feel about themselves. But you there and you taking it personal. So much so that some of you guys even want to fight. You want to fight because of what someone else said of you. Not realizing that's how they feel about themselves and they just want to project it on you. In his book, it talks about the poison. Every time somebody say something and you get offended or you take offense to it, it's like you taking a poison in. Remember this, in the words of Wayne Dyer, we don't die from the snake bite. We die from the venom. From the venom. Another book. Now, this book, it doesn't have this is my favorite, okay? This book is The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. It has so many great examples in here. I've read this book so many times. The book is coming apart. Okay, this book is by far my favorite read, okay? It talks about getting to know yourself. The famous quote, know thyself. Okay, it gives so many examples in here. This one lady comes to mind. She would date men that were effeminate. Effeminate means pretty much mama boys, men that you could just pretty much, they operate more so in a feminine energy. Now we all have both. Okay, whether you male or female, we have feminine energy and we have masculine energy. But these men she was dating, they was more so in a feminine energy. And she complained. I think she was like on her third marriage or so. And she went to Dr. Joseph Murphy and she said she didn't understand why the men that she was attracting, why were they all, why were they effeminate? And one of the things Dr. Joseph Murphy said was because she was so much dominant in her masculine energy. And that's why she was attracting the guys that she was attracting, because of her masculine energy. You can't be thinking that you're going to attract a masculine man, if you are dominating in your masculine energy. And so she would attract them. And when I read the book, I had an aha moment like, oh my goodness. This is why I was attracting those type of guys. This is why, put those type of guys, make them want, first settle. And then I settle, and then, me and a guy in a relationship. And then I get upset because they not what I want them to be. Honey, I wasn't even what I wanted to be. Okay. All right. And so everything, I appreciate you. Thank you, McNair. I wasn't what I wanted to be. And how could you want somebody to be what you want them to be if you're not even what, I was impatient. So if I'm not willing to do the work on myself, what you think I'm gonna wind up with? Somebody that's not willing to do the work on themselves. Somebody that's looking and saying, well, I want to find love, and love don't have no address. You looking for love like love has an address. It doesn't have an address. And so I had to start understanding, why do you go after mama boys? Oh, because, I feel like I can control them. I feel like I could make them into what I want them to be. And has it been working? No, it has not been working. It starts off that way. They start off, they go along with it for a certain amount of time, but then they even get sick of it, because you know why? Because they can't keep up with this image that you have for them. And it's sort of a form of manipulation. Like, you have this image for them. You want them, you want to change them. It's almost like you want them to go to 10th grade, and they didn't even graduate from eighth grade. And you want them to go to 10th grade. How that's gonna work? That's not gonna work, because they missed some steps along the way. And so, you be it to attract it. If you know you're not it, don't date it. Don't date. If you know right now you have a lot of trauma going on within yourself. You know that you have not healed from that trauma. You know you have not done no work on yourself. You know that you feel like love comes from outside you. You feel like your life is not going to be complete until somebody love you. You feel that your life is boring until you get into a relationship. Let me tell you something. Don't date. Don't date. Don't date. Because chances are, first of all, you are attracting what you are right now. And if you got all that going on, that's exactly the person that you are going to attract. Okay? Oh, but it feels so good when you know how to make yourself happy. It feels so good when you're willing to take yourself on dates. It feels so good when you're willing to buy yourself flowers. It feels so good when you look at yourself and you say, God damn it, I know I am it. It feels so good when you look at yourself unapologetic and you are not apologizing for the way you show up. Okay? It feels so good when you have confidence that comes oozing out. It feels so good. It feels so good that you don't care if they stay or go. Either way, you are going to be good. Why? Because you loved yourself before they even showed up. And you got to get to that point. You got to get to that point. Because if you don't get that to that point, you're going to keep on chasing this illusion. This illusion. And the person that you've been looking for all this time has been you. You've been looking for you. You think you've been looking, oh, well, I want the person to love me. You know, some of you got, oh, my mama didn't love me. My daddy, you know, he should have been there. They couldn't give you something that they did not have. And once you start accepting it for the thing that really what it is, then your life will start becoming better. Because as long as you are a 30, a 40, a 50, a 60-year-old person, okay, 20-something-year-old person, and still saying, why my daddy didn't show up for me, okay, that's what you entering into these relationships. That's what you bringing with you. You looking for your daddy in these relationships. And you looking for your mama in these relationships. We attract what we are, what is familiar. We go after things that's familiar to us. So if your daddy can't give you the love, it's no wonder why it feels like you have to pull teeth to make this person love you, make this person appreciate you. It's because you're looking for your daddy love in these men. And the real person that you've been looking for all these years, not your mama, not your daddy, but yourself. Yourself. That's who you've been really looking for. Because once you become that thing, you will attract that thing. We don't get what we say we desire. We don't get what we meditate on, what we pray for. We don't get what we, what we keep begging for and crying for over. You're not getting, you are getting what you get because of who you are. And it's not until you become that thing will you receive that. But you got to know you're worthy. You got to know you deserve it. All right, family. So let's go. Let's write the gratitude. Gratitude's gonna change your attitude. Okay. Now you can do it or you don't have to do it. Okay. Even if you have a little piece of paper, because you're like, oh, Dina, well, I don't even have a darn notebook. Okay. If you have a little piece of paper, remember, it is the micro wins that turns into macro, okay? Macro wins. It is the micro wins that turns into macro wins. It is the small habits that we tend to do each and every day that is going to lead to big habits and successful habits, okay? But if you're not even willing to do a gratitude journal, a gratitude journal. How long is a gratitude journal? How long would it take you? 5 minutes, probably less. You don't have to write your whole story down, okay? You could just write 3 to 5 things. What you grateful for? Me personally, I write way more, but you could write 3 to 5 things. And it will change your attitude. Because let me tell you something, what the mind can't do at the same time, the mind can't focus on gratitude and lack and scarcity at the same time. So it's one or the other. If you operating from gratitude, it can't focus on scarcity and lack. Okay? So you want to be mindful of what you're focusing on. Okay, let's go. All right. Um, okay, so my gratitude journal is all the things that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for my children, okay, even though sometimes, they could be a bit busy. I'm grateful for having an apartment. Okay. I don't see, you have to start seeing yourself as having the things that you desire. Right. I'm grateful for having clean clothes. I'm grateful for having food in the fridge. I'm grateful for you guys. I put my online family. I'm grateful for having a community. Okay. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for waking up this morning. I'm grateful for me. I'm grateful that I get to be me. And that's something else. You want to be grateful for you because there's only one of you. And you lose your essence when you are trying to be like everybody else. That's your superpower, your uniqueness. Okay? All right. So, another book, The Magic of Thinking Big. Now, this book, I just got this book a few days ago. Okay. I'm on chapter 5. This book is a phenomenal read. The Magic of Thinking Big. See, you're thinking too small. That's why in some cases, even when you do hit the thing that you say you desire, it don't feel like anything. It don't feel too much, okay? Because you think too small. Instead of you thinking, of having, of owning a home, an example, owning a home, you thinking about how you could just get this small little apartment. When Source has something so you won't even be able to put it to words. But one thing you can say is, I desire to have my own home. And I tell you to write down specific details and don't worry about how it's going to come, who's going to bring it in, okay? Because all those things is going to take, you're going to start not believing. You're going to start thinking, oh, well, I can't see how it's going to come. Just know it's coming. Just know it's here. The phenomenal thing about life is this, and if you take nothing from my videos, do understand and get this. The thing that you want is here already. It's here already. So that house, that car, that relationship, that amount of money is here. You just got to get on the same exact frequency as that thing. And how? Study. How you going to get understanding if you don't study? That's the only way you're going to get understanding, if you study. But some people say, I don't have time, which that's a lie, because we all have 24 hours in a day. Last time I checked, nobody was getting shortchanged on time. It's not that you don't have time. It is, what are you spending your time on? That's the question. What are you giving your time to? And are you getting a return on investment? See, certain conversations I just don't have. You know why? Because my time is precious. And I'm not just going to entertain anyone. You have to see yourself as being worthy. You have to see yourself as being enough. Because if not, you're going to entertain any and everybody. And I don't have time for that. I don't have time to entertain any and everyone. I don't have time to hang around people who keep on talking about why their lives won't change and how the government is doing this. And, oh, did you see the news? I don't watch the news. So I don't know what's going on with the news. And if it's really that important, I'm quite sure it'll be some way, some shape, form, I would hear about it. But why should I focus on something that if I can't change that, why should I focus on it? And then you wonder why you're afraid to go outside. What you giving your energy and your focus to? That's why. That's why. And so with that being said, I love you guys. I love you, love you, love you. I got like 2 stores to go to, Target and Five Below. I catch you guys on the next one. Keep rocking out. Keep believing in yourselves. Okay. I highly recommend you guys get one of these books. You don't have to get all of them, but I recommend you get one. And let me tell you something. If you're not going to get the one book,
And you could go right to thrift books, okay? Thrift books, okay? Thrift books. This right here, thrift books. You could go here and get any book you want for inexpensive. Inexpensive. But I guarantee you, if you're not willing to invest in yourself with the book, you ain't going to be willing to invest in yourself with anything. Why? Because you're looking for a free pass. You're looking for something just to miraculously just appear in your life. It's an offering. It's like an offer, okay? It's like you send out into the universe. You know what? I'm willing to change my life. And then you do the necessary steps in order for you to start changing your life. But by all means, please stop thinking your life is going to change and you're not changing. That's insane. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over. And you just keep saying, well, my life, when is it going? It's not. It's not going to change until you change. And you got to be willing to change it. See, you got to be willing to show up even if you're shaking. You got to be willing to show up even if you feel like you can't make no eye contact because you that damn nervous. You got to be willing to show up even if you have to have your headphones on to show up. You have to be willing. You got to be willing. You have to be willing. Now, if you ain't willing, you don't want it. You don't want it. Because change, it comes with this thing called life. And the challenges comes with it too. And the challenges that we tend to face in life is not for us to stop. It is, see, the challenges that you tend to go through in a family you was born into and all these different things, that was not for you. It never was for you. It was for you to show somebody else, you know what? You have the ability to get up. You know what? Because let me tell you about my experience. I've been through that. And guess what? It is for you to inspire in spirit, for you to inspire others, not for you to just lay down and stay down and give up on life, give up on love, just give up. You're not a quitter. You are not a quitter. So stop showing up like you're a quitter. Stop showing up like you're stupid. Stop showing up like you're not good enough. Stop showing up like you don't have, infinite potential within you. Stop showing up like that. Because God, source, whatever you want to call it, it did not create no quitters, no dummies, okay? No rejects, no uglies. It did not create that. You didn't believe those things until somebody else told you was those things. And I'm going to need you to stop believing it. And affirm yourself. Tell yourself, even when you're walking down the street, okay? I am a creator. I am a God. I am love. I am light. I am beautiful. I am confident. Okay? I am kind. Start telling yourself these things. And I know you was brought up, a certain way. Oh, you better not tell yourself, you ain't supposed to tell yourself you pretty. You let somebody else tell you those things. And that's why your life has been chaotic ever since. Because you're waiting for somebody else to tell you something. And the people that you are attracting, they look at themselves the way you look at yourself. So how the heck they gonna tell you that you're beautiful if they don't even think that they're beautiful? Sometimes you just got to go against the culture. And sometimes the culture is holding you back. Sometimes you got to go against the grain. And if you're not willing to detach yourself from those things, good luck to you, because I don't know what to say to you, friend. Okay? You got to be willing. You have to be willing. You have to be willing to pick up the book. Okay? When that monkey in the mind is telling you you can't read, they got Google. They got Google. Last time I checked, when I'm reading these books, some of these books, the words I don't even got there know. But you think that stops me? Okay? No, it does not. What I do is I put the darn definition up at the top. I go right on Google. I listen to how to pronounce it, and I put the goddamn definition at the top. Okay. And sometimes I may forget it again, but then I go back and I do the same thing again. Okay. There's no excuses. No excuses. There's no excuses. Only the excuses you keep giving yourself. And then you keep on living the same exact way. Like the Twilight Zone. Who want to be in the damn Twilight Zone? Think big. I'm about to take this book. Okay. Think big. See yourself big. Okay. Stop looking at yourself like you are in. Always getting stepped on. Because you keep seeing yourself as an ant. And ants get stepped on. Okay. All right. And with that being said, I love you guys. Catch you guys on the next one. Yes, the Prosperity Bible. Honey, you will love it. Okay. You will love it. All right. They have so many books in this one book. I remember the first person who recommended this was Missy Yala Van Zandt. Okay, I listen to successful people. Hello, I listen to successful people. I'm not listening to somebody who's telling me don't invest and don't do this and don't do that, and they don't even have the results that I desire. I can't listen to them. Yeah, I'm gonna listen to them, and they don't even got the damn results that I want. Okay, so I can't listen to them. But I remember hearing Missy Yala Van Zandt. She talked about this book, The Prosperity Bible. And there's so many successful people. Even the lady who created The Secret, okay, the movie, okay, Rhonda Burns, she got the idea from The Science of Getting Rich. That's in this book by Wallace Wattles, okay? And so when I listen to successful people, okay, I listen, when they recommend a book, I put it in the cart and I go get the book. Okay. Now I heard about this book so many times. Okay. Now the book, I just got this book. Okay. But maybe it was like that before the guy sent it. I don't know. But I heard so many successful people talk about the magic of thinking big. Kevin Tredone, who was a part of the Brotherhood, the elites. Okay. He talked about this book, And so I said, oh, hold on now. Hold on. Okay. Oh, the thing came on, but that's okay. Okay. And I heard him say this. Okay. And I said, oh, let me get this book. And I went and got it. Okay. But success leaves clues. I want you to ask yourself, are you following the clues? Are you following them? Or are you just a person that's standing, outside the stadium and saying, damn, they sure playing a good game? When you could get in on an action, but you prefer to be a sideliner and say, damn, they sure playing a good game. But you could play a good game too. Because life is a game and you better know how to play it.